Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the Voice of Reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. Now, today, we're going to have a look at what we believe are similarities between the Prosperity Party under the control of Abiy Ahmed and Saddam Hussein's Ba'ath Party of Iraq, and how the early stages of what's happening or what happened inside of Iraq are now eerily similar to what is occurring inside of the former state of Ethiopia. Now, obviously, there has been some discussion coming out of the inner circles of the Abiy Ahmed regime that Abiy Ahmed identifies himself as the king of Ethiopia. And now we're starting to see that that cult of personality that was very similar in the early stages of Saddam Hussein's rise to power. So first and foremost, the regime of Saddam Hussein created the Praetorian Guard, the Republican Guard, that assured the regime security. In the former state of Ethiopia, especially in Addis Ababa, we have seen the rise and the creation of, yes, Abiy Ahmed's own Praetorian Guard, also called the Republican Guard. So again, these regime security elements that are starting to come in place, again, very, very similar to what occurred in Saddam Hussein's Iraq. The Ba'ath Party, the Prosperity Party, a unitary one-party system in which right now we're starting to see even groups and paramilitary organizations that were once allied with the Prosperity Party and the regime of Abiy Ahmed, such as the Fano organization, now being disrupted and taken down by regime security elements of Abiy Ahmed. So any group or entity that would display any sort of power against the regime of Abiy Ahmed obviously is going to be destroyed. And that's kind of what we're seeing, or it's not kind of what we're seeing, it's absolutely what we're seeing inside the former state of Ethiopia. And again, that combined with this cult of personality behind the Abiy Ahmed regime that we're actively seeing, that's very, very reminiscent of what we observed in Saddam Hussein's and the Ba'ath Party's rise to power in Iraq. And again, we're seeing a multitude of similarities that would indicate that the regime, that Abiy Ahmed, has no intent to stand down. And there has been reports coming out of the U.S. State Department and individuals that have attended functions, diplomatic functions with Abiy Ahmed and people close to Abiy Ahmed that indicate that Abiy Ahmed wishes to remain in power for 30 to 40 more years, and he has stated that he would like to be the longest-serving ruler in Africa. Now that is that's going to be a difficult challenge, but you can kind of understand what his intent is, and not only that, you can see the types of strategies that are being instituted by the government, the arresting of opposition figures, the null and voiding of democratic processes, such as in the Tigray region, and the continued persecution of anyone or any entity that does not tote the Prosperity Party line, much like the Ba'ath Party of Iraq. So you're kind of watching real time the plunging of Ethiopia into this totalitarian regime in which you could quite possibly see Abiy Ahmed in power for a very extended period of time. And I talked about buyer's remorse in my previous video, and I do believe that more and more individuals inside of the capital, Addis Ababa, also known as Finfinne, are very, very quickly coming to the realization that the quality of life, the economics in Ethiopia are quickly becoming more and more dire, while at the same time Abiy Ahmed lives a very opulent lifestyle and continues to exhibit those traits, again, much like Saddam Hussein, in terms of that grip on power and that continued adapting and creating a state security apparatus that also keeps him in power for an extended period of time. Obviously, within the context of the actual civil war itself, we continue to see that operation against the Oromo Liberation Army has really failed. And the Oromo Liberation Army was able to weather the storm of this multi-pronged government offensive that was really focused on attempting to relieve the siege of Ambo. We do know that the government forces, B loyalist forces, were not successful in that endeavor, and in fact, the OLA continues its siege of Ambo and other areas to the west of Addis Ababa. As I talked about in other previous videos, we continue to see the cutting off and strangulation of Addis Ababa by the Oromo Liberation Army, and that also continues. And we continue to see the buildup of Tigrayan forces as well in the direction of both Eritrea and western Tigray. And then again, we're also starting to see the Prosperity Party, the regime of Abiy Ahmed, now targeting its once allies in the form of the Fano organization. Obviously, Abiy Ahmed sees that as a rival organization that he deems is unfit to be part of the regime process, so to speak, of his what is quickly becoming a tyrannical rule, and he is so desired now to crush certain aspects of the power base inside of the Amhara region, in conjunction with some of his cult of personality allies located in the Amhara region as well. But we'll have to watch and see what happens as there continues to be more of a popular uprising taking place in the Amhara region against the regime of Abiy Ahmed. But very, very interesting dynamic we're seeing that we've also seen in the past, such as Saddam Hussein's of Iraq. The similarities are frightening similar to some of those processes that are taking place, the regime security processes. And obviously, we'll continue to monitor this very, very closely. That's all we have for today. Again, thanks for joining us. More to come very, very soon.